Hi everyone, welcome back to the video, or sorry, back to the series. This is number 19, I think now, hopefully I got that right, in the RetroBat complete build guide. So as I said before, we're adding some more systems now, trying to get that complete set. And the good news is I now have a complete set of games for every single system currently supported by RetroBat. So that's roughly, I think it's 164 systems. So yeah, good news. That's what I was aiming for. Obviously now the task is to add them all to the build. So I'm working through them. There's a whole bunch more here to add today. You can see here. As I mentioned in the previous videos, I kind of starting at the top of the alphabet with the A's, which is quite a big. There's quite a lot of systems starting with A, surprisingly. Then the last video. Now we're on sort of the B's and C's and D's. And if anyone is familiar with all the systems, there are a couple of ones missing here. I have got them. It just some of them just need some extra artwork adding, so I'll put those back in a later video. But I'm basically working through the alphabet, so we're down to the D's now on today. So yeah, but yeah, so good news. Yeah, I've always said that I wanted to try and get a build that covers every single system. Obviously, as new versions of RetroBat get released, you know, there's chances they're going to add new systems, which is great for us. So obviously when that happens, I'll look to then add games for those particular systems as well. Obviously same format here, you know, all the games you need, all the artwork, you know, all sourced online, links provided. So yeah, so without further ado, what I'll do is jump into our ROMs folder, and like I say, as I did in the last video, I'm not going to go through every single one and watch me unzip them. I think, you know, you've been following the build. Like I say, we're up to video 19 now. It is fairly straightforward to uncompress them and copy them over, so hopefully you guys are familiar. So I'll start at the top one. I'll do the BBC Micro as an example. So we've got the zip file here, just double click. So the password is just build, capital B and an exclamation mark, and it'll open up. Obviously, you know, some of you guys might be using different compression tools. I use 7-zip, works really well for me. Has, you know, a handy browser, so you can actually browse through different zips without having to open and close them all the time. So on the left hand side here, let's move that a little bit, we should have a BBC Micro folder. So like I say, two ways as always. You can either go into the BBC Micro folder, go into BBC Micro here, do a Control A to select everything, or I think there's a select all there, yeah, so select all, and then drag those over to the folder here. Or you can just at that top level and the top level here, just take that folder and drag it, to make sure you drag it into some empty space, like this empty space here. Don't drag it on top of something else, because it'll end up going into that folder, which we don't want. We want it in the ROMs folder, so just into some empty space. Sometimes to make that easier, I change the view just to list, and you scroll to the end, you tend to get a big chunk of free space, so you can just drop it in, I guess it's a bit more safely. And then obviously dragging it does, like I said before, does the two-step copy, so it'll extract it to a temporary folder, normally on your C drive, and then copy it across. So if you're doing a larger archive, you have to make sure you've got enough spare space on your C drive. Like I say, it copies a temporary folder and then copies it to your destination. In my case, I've got this USB drive, which is an NX drive. The other way to do it, you want to do it direct, which is what I'm tending to do it these days, is just hit the extract button here, and then for the path, rather than sort of browsing through, you can just click in the address bar here, do Control C or right click and copy that text. Come over here, highlight the whole lot or delete out the whole lot, do a Control V, or again right click and paste. It'll put your ROMs path in there, it'll confirm here where it's going to go, and just hit OK. So this, like I say, does a one-step extraction directly from there to there. So now if we scroll back under BBC Micro, here's all the games, and here is the game list, and here's all the images, etc. So there we go, everything there, good to go. So like I say, it's just a case of repeating this for the other ones. And rather than closing this 7-zip window and then double click on the next one, just go up a level, double click on the next one. Again, the password is the same, hit the 128, hit extract, and away you go. So like I say, I'm not going to do this for every single one, but you can see here working down the alphabet. So we've got, let's say, BBC Micro, the Commodore 128, Cannonball, which is an emulator to run kind of, I guess, custom whatever versions of Outrun, where people have customized them, sort of community made versions, I guess. Cave and Cave Story, ChannelF. I mean, some of these I'm not familiar with, I must admit. But as I say, if you want to find out a bit more about them, just head on over to, again, I think I mentioned this in the last video, it's very handy, just the RetroBat wiki. Just do a search for it, or it's wiki.retrobat.org. A whole bunch of information here about adding stuff, adding games, setting up controllers, all that kind of stuff. But you click here, supported systems. This is where it gives a list of all different ones, and this is what I'm working to. So as you work down the list, you've got all different systems here, and then so we've got things like Cave Story, and Cannonball. So for example, you can click on it, gives you information about it, default controls, all that kind of stuff. Obviously it tells you how to add the games, but obviously you don't have to worry because that's all done for you. And then there's normally a little, like a link to an external wiki or external information. So Cannonball, yeah, out of game engine recreation. So it basically lets people sort of, I guess, run custom versions of Outrun. Is what that one is. And then, like I say, there's a whole bunch of things like Cave Story that we're adding as well. Platform adventure game for Microsoft Windows developed, etc., etc. Anyway, so rather than digressing, like I always do, check out the wiki, check out the systems if you want to find out more information about them. Like I say, a lot of these I've not heard of or not played. The CPS 1, 2 and 3, so that's the Capcom Play system. So slightly odd in the fact that all these games are included in either MAME or Final Bend. They're arcade games, but for whatever reason, in quite a lot of front ends, you see the Play system 1, 2 and 3 as a separate category, a separate system, where in fact it's just a subset of MAME games or arcade games, obviously made by Capcom. But yeah, so obviously just include it for completeness. And then the Daphne, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Obviously they're quite a big system. So anyway, go through these, extract them all in, and then once you're done, just fire up the RetroBat.exe. Always seems to move around on my screen. Like I said, I run it at Windows so you guys can see it easier, but normally you'll have it full screen. Right, so anyway, a couple of things I've done. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the last video, I think I did, but just in case, is I've been coming down to the game collection settings, and then down here you've got the number of group systems, and then by default RetroBat likes to group systems together. So even though if you end up at the end, with 160 odd systems, you won't have 160 menu items. It will group them. So for Amiga, you'll have a single item called Amiga, and you go into it and you have the games for all these. MESS is quite a big one. So MESS is the multi-emulator super system. I believe that's the correct acronym. It used to be it's kind of a sister program to MAME back in the day, but then it has since been amalgamated in, so they're all together in the same program. And basically the MAME part of it does arcade games. MESS does things like computer systems, handhelds, and consoles. So I think it's referred to today as kind of software list, and so list of ROMs that you need to use with these systems rather than arcade ROMs. But there's a whole bunch of kind of computers in here that emulate by the MESS system, and normally it would group them all together under a menu item called MESS. But like I say, I've turned this all off because we just added BIOSES Micro. It's tried to, or wants to kind of group that, so turn that off. The quick way is just come down here and say select none, and it'll untick everything for you. Hit back. The other thing I've done is change the sort list to, by default it's manufacturer. I've changed it to alphabetically. That just makes it easier for me to scroll down the list and basically check I've got everything. So what I'm going to do quickly here is you'll see on this theme it's got so this is the theme I like using. It looks really nice, but it's missing artwork for quite a few of these systems because they're a bit more, I guess, less popular systems. So you can see a number here which has got default artwork, not the actual right logo or artwork relating to the system. So I'm hoping at some point to have time to go through this and add all that in, but because this theme's quite complex, it's got quite a few different views you can change. It's got quite a number of different artwork files per system, so it'll take a while to do. So what I've done in the meanwhile is downloaded this new theme, the theme I've had already. Actually, I need to add it. That's probably a good point. Let me add that, and then we'll see how to do it. But it's basically a theme that is has all the artwork for all those systems. I got it off a good friend that I've met online from doing this. He sent me a copy, so it's basically the same theme but just updated with extra artwork, and it had all the systems apart from I think 3. So I've added those 3, so now it's complete. And I have actually got it on my own build, which is why I couldn't find it there. So I'm going to include this link to the zip file in the video. So this is my RetroBat folder, and I'm just going to go and grab it here. So let's just copy this. I mean, ignore this bit for a minute. This is just me grabbing a copy. So what we'll do, so it'll come in a zip file with a theme in it and everything within the folder. What you want to do is extract that zip file just like you do with the ROMs, but except in the ROMs folder it goes in emulation station, dot emulation station, and then you've got themes. So this is the ones I've got at the moment. So you just want to extract top level folder from the zip file into here, like I say, just like we do with the ROMs, and I'll put the link in the description. And there we go. And then what I'm going to do also while I'm here is, so I've copied BBC Micro in, I haven't copied the rest in yet, so I'm going to do that quickly. There's other systems that are in the description, and then we can relaunch it and we'll see all the games added. So I'm just going to pause quickly while I do that. Okay, so I've added those other systems, I've extracted all the ROMs, obviously just a second ago I added in the that theme, so we should be good to go now. This should be the same kind of stage you guys are at if you've extracted those games. So yeah, let's pull this down a bit. Okay, so you can see straight away you've got things like Cave, Colecovision. I think that's probably going to be Cave Story. I don't know. Or Cave, yeah, Cave. Either way, you can see that there's artwork missing there. Yeah, the Commodore 128 is there. We just added Capcom CPS 1, 2, and 3, and then we got, for some reason, ChannelF is down there. You know it's C, but anyway, I'm sure there's a good reason why it's down there, and I'll see it. Daphne, if that is how you pronounce it, is here. So anyway, those are all the systems added, but what I say, this theme, like I say, has missing artwork. So that other one that I've included, let's go to user interface and change to the Artflix. Obviously still a very nice looking theme, I use this quite a lot. It's got all the artwork. The only thing I tend to change, you can see the menu on the right hand side there, kind of sort of bounces about, and when it's resting it bounces back and forwards, which I'm not as keen on, and it might be a bit slow on slower systems. So, and obviously the background as well is moving very slightly as well, which I kind of quite like. But if you want to customize that, or if it's a little bit jerky on your system, or you just don't like it, go into the menu, go to user interface, and then you've got theme configuration. So in here you can change a whole bunch of stuff. So you can have a play around and change, the colours and icon sets, all that kind of stuff. What is quite nice is somewhere yeah, if you get it completely wrong and you can't get back, you can do a reset and it'll put it back to defaults, which is quite handy. So like I say, to stop the bouncing menu, you've got the animated wheel carousel. So I'd set that to default and then come out and it'll just make it reload. So now you see that it's more like a normal wheel. And then likewise, if you did want to stop the background from moving around, come back into here in configuration, and then you've got animated background. And again, set that to default. I'm not sure what number 2 is. Give that a quick try. Maybe that's it sliding in from the top. I don't know. I couldn't see the difference. Maybe that is what it is, but I had to change that back to how I had it because I quite like the moving background. Anyway, so we've had all these systems: the ChannelF, the Capcom systems, the Commodore +4, 128. Just go into a couple of these. You can see they've all got the artwork. So Colecovision. Getting all the artwork for that. BBC Micro. So yeah, another bunch of systems added. I know in the past I've been through and sort of tested each system, but a lot of these are going to use the standard RetroArch emulator. So just save a bit of time. And then also I've been through and tested these to make sure they do work. So look at Capcom. Like I say, these ones are in the main set or the final burn set. But like I say, on losses you see them pulled out into a separate system, which is what has happened here as well. So anyway, that's it for the video. A whole bunch more added. I think last one down here was the Daphne one, which is an emulator for laser discs. Have a quick look in here. A lot of classic games. Anyway, so yeah, like I say, so we changed the theme now. So as we add more systems, we're gonna multiple emulator super system. I think I was right. Like I say, there's a bunch of systems in there. But anyway, yeah. So add more systems. Work down through the alphabet, adding the rest. We should have, theme. We'll be able to handle it. It'll have all the artwork ready for us. Like I say, I have tested this, and I was just doing a separate kind of showcase video just to show what a complete system looks like now that I've got it. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That'll be released soon as well. And yeah, so yeah, working through all the systems, adding them in. There's a few, like I say, I've got to go back and just add some more artwork for, because they're missing some. Also want to make sure they're ready before they're released. So yeah, all looking good. Again, hope you're enjoying the series and the video. I know it's dragging on quite a bit now. It's taking a lot longer than I expected, up to like video 19 now. I think in hindsight, if I was going to add all systems, I probably should have maybe added more systems per video. But anyway, we're going to get there, and hope you enjoy it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Please give the video a like, or all the videos a like. That really help. Obviously, yeah, any comments, any feedback is normal in the comments on YouTube, or join the Facebook group and have a chat there and share ideas or suggestions for next videos. Also, I've got to think about what I do when the RetroBat series comes to an end. I have started the the Batocera one as well. Obviously, it's very similar. It uses Emulation Station as a front end, so I guess to the average user, they look the same, but they're very different behind the scenes. Obviously, one's on Windows, one's Linux. Yeah, so any ideas, let me know. Also, there's also the Discord server. If you're not a fan of Facebook, Discord server seems quite popular at the moment. There's a lot of people joining there. So yeah, come in and have a chat, make suggestions, any feedback would be great. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.